In today's video, I show you a step-by-step guide for a beauty shoot. I will use a VOGUE cover as an example to analyze the image and then recreate it as closely as possible. I'm going to show you how to read every image, its setup, beginning from the light, the key elements and the camera settings. But enough of the intro, let's start to analyze the cover. This is the picture we are going to work with today. It's a work from the photographer Alik from 2018 for VOGUE Germany. So the first step of the analysis is to have a look at the key visuals. The key elements are the things you notice first when you look at a picture. So in our example, I look at the left eye first, then at the mouth with the turtleneck in it, and then my eye catches the big gold earring on the left side. In general, our brain is programmed to scan pictures from the top left corner to the lower right corner, and we instantly spot the brightest points first. For this cover, we now identified the three most important key visuals that we keep in mind. Then we continue to scan the picture. What do we notice secondly? For me, it's the healthy, glowing skin and the hairstyle of the model. Furthermore, the light nude tones on her eyes and her lips that complement the clean look perfectly. These elements are important to recreate the makeup and to generate the base of this specific picture. And now we have a look at the light setup. You mostly can identify the used light sources in the model's eyes. So whenever you want to find out a light setup, you should first look into the eyes. In this example, you can see a round light source. This could be an octabox, a beauty dish, or an umbrella. The next step is to check the hardness level of the light. For this, I always look at the shadows. Do they appear more soft or more hard to you? If you can classify this correctly, think of the sun in the summer at 12 o'clock. This light is very bright and therefore the shadows are really harsh. If you think of a cloudy day, the shadows are way softer. So when we look at the picture, we can see softer shadows on her right side and a harder one on her jawline. Overall, I would say it's a harder but not too hard light source for this setup. But is it the only light source or do we have more? If you closely check the shadows on the right, you can see a second light source which brightens the shadows a bit and creates little highlights. Now we have identified the number of light sources and we can continue with the preparation. Jana is my model for today. She took a 4-hour train ride to work with me on this project. I was so glad that she had time for me because she has great resemblance with the model on the cover. To recreate the cover, my makeup artist Bachora first had to prepare the model's skin. For this, she primed Jana's face with skincare, a face mask and serums. This is an important step because the skin texture of the cover model is an essential element for the picture. Jana has great skin and so it's very easy to recreate the styling. If you have a closer look at the cover, you will see that the texture is very soft, creamy and shiny. To replicate this look, we have to pay attention to the products we want to use. To maintain the glowy skin, Bachora doesn't use powdery products that close the pores. Instead, she uses light, water-based foundation to evenly tone the face and to enhance the radiant skin. Next step is to apply a soft nude tone to the eyes and to define the brows and fill in the little gaps with a natural liner. Before Bachora could start with the hairstyling, Jana put on the turtleneck. She had to be very careful not to destroy the makeup, and after that Bachora defined the model's lips with a nude lip pencil that matched Jana's lip color perfectly. A final touch-up with mascara and the makeup was done. For the hairstyle, Bachora separated the hair in two parts. Jana had very long hair and so Bachora tamped the lower half with some gel. To create a sleek bun, she curled the two parts into one bun and secured it with some bobby pins. The styling was ready and look how beautiful the skin glows. During the styling process, I mostly have time to set up my light. We've already identified the light sources before and so I will use my silver umbrella as my main light. Now we look again at the cover to define the position of the light. As you can see here, the light goes from the top left to the bottom right. You can see the direction of the light by the shadows of her nose. For this, I need to set up my light a bit higher and move it to the left to recreate this angle. Next step was to place the second light source. If we look at the shadows again, it's noticeable that the used light had to be a harder one too. The light source created little spots that are brighter than the rest. This light was only used to create a grazing light and to bring some texture in the shadows. I placed the light with a reflector far behind her, so the last light rays would streak across her face. To lighten up the shadows, I placed a white flat next to the table. And this was my setup for this shooting. But first, Jana had to put on one of the key elements. Unfortunately, we couldn't find the exact same gold earrings, and so we decided to go with a similar one. For the beginning of the shoot, we started to imitate the side pose of the cover. My camera settings were a shutter speed of 1 to 160, an ISO of 100 and an aperture of 16. After a test shot, we checked the setup side by side in Capture One. I immediately spotted an unwanted reflection in Jana's eyes, and this was the table that reflected the light. To remove this, I grabbed a black scarf to cover up the table. I also removed the white flat because the shadows were too soft in my picture. To have a better look at the effect of the second light, I switched off the main light. After a few adjustments, we finally found the ideal pose for our version. Jana has a different bone structure than the model on the cover, and so the highlights were a little different to the original. But for our version it was perfect, and we could continue with the second key element. Now it was time to work with the turtleneck in her mouth. The right styling was essential to imitate the cover. We tried out many different things with the turtleneck and kept it in place with a clamp. I had to pay special attention to the front teeth and the jawline in order to get the perfect result. Now we only had to adjust little details. And finally, we took the perfect picture that was the closest to the original. Jana could spit out the turtleneck, and the whole team was very happy with the result. So this is the original photo, and this is our version of it. After the copy of the cover, we decided to take more pictures with the setup and styling. We adjusted the turtleneck a bit, and Jana was totally free in her posing. I took inspiration from the already existing cover and created something new. And to be honest, I like these pictures way more. You can use this method to understand and recreate light setups and take inspirations from the look, but you should never copy other people's work. If you just started photography, it's an easy way to test out, understand and improve yourself. But if you only copy someone else, you can't find your own style of photography, and you will only recreate something that is already there. Always remember that a copy is never as good as the original, and so you should create your own original. And if you now want to know more easy one light setups for beginner photographers, then you should subscribe to my Natascha Lindemann Plus letter, because the next Plus letter will be all about one light setups.